Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, we will be looking at how to move your player using Rigidbody Move Position. I have created a Unity project, and inside the project, I have taken two game objects. One is plane and another one is the player. This is the capsule. I have named it as player. And on the capsule, I have attached a material to my game object. And inside the inspector panel, I'm going to click add component and I'm going to attach rigid body to my player. Now I'm going to freeze rotation under the constraints. Because if I don't freeze it, my player gonna be freely rotate under the influence of the physics forces. Now I have created a script folder, and inside this script folder I have created a script, namely player movement, and I'm going to drag and drop this script onto the player as well. After opening the Visual Studio, let us write a script to move our player using Rigidbody.move position. First of all, I'm going to declare variables to take input from the user. And I have explained in my previous video why do we use float data type for it and how does the input system work. So if you don't have knowledge, you can check out my previous video. I have explained everything in detail about it. Now let us take input from user. Horizontal input will be equal to input dot get access, and inside it I'm going to pass string. It is very case sensitive, so you have to be careful about it. And secondly, I'm going to declare vertical input, and it will be equals to input dot get access and vertical. We have declared variable to take input from user, and now we are going to take reference of the rigid body. I'm going to take data body rigid body, and I'm going to name its variable as my RP. I'm going to take its components, get component, and it will be rigid body and its function. Let me tell you about this statement. This statement is basically taking all the components that are basically these components that we have attached to our game object. All right, and I also need one variable that will be vector3, and it will be named as move position. This is basically variable use for setting new position after taking input. Alright, let us set this vector, and now move position will be equals to, I'm going to declare new vector vector3, and horizontal input 0, vertical it's going to be vertical input. All right, now let us use my rb dot move position. My rb dot move position, and now we are going to pass this parameter. Look at this definition, what it's saying, it require a new position. So what we're going to do, we are going to pass the current position of the player, and then we are going to add it to the newly set vector, and we will be multiplying it by speed multiply by time dot delta time. Let me declare the variable speed and set its value to 10.0 f. Private float speed will be equal to 10.0 f. And now let's save it and check its results. Now let's play. Look, our player is moving, but if you can see, like, the movement is a little bit jagged, and as well as it is not realistic movement. So what do you think, where the problem will be? The problem lies, we haven't used the fixed update. Fixed update is a function that is basically designed for handling physics related tasks in game, and basically it is called 50 times per second, and you can also update its frequency according to the requirement of your game. So I'm going to use fixed update, and it also works when you are applying physics forces to your object and all that. I'm going to copy this line, uh, cut and paste it, and I want to mention one thing over here. We use time dot fix delta time in the fixed update. And now let us play our game. It's gonna reload the script, and now let's see. Now look, the movement is perfect, like it's moving smooth now. Now look at its functionality, how it's working. First of all, it's gonna take the input from the user, and the input value depends whether it's 1, -1, or anything in between, and then we are passing that value in setting the new position of the vector. And first of all, the update will be called, and the vector will be and the value that our user want to move will be saved inside the move position. After that, fix update function will be called, and it's gonna take the current position of your player, and it's gonna add the new vector values to it, and multiply it with speed and fixed delta time, and then it will provide the required velocity to move our player, and then our player will be moved to the new targeted position. In the end, I'm going to add one more thing. I'm going to normalize my vector. Normalize my a vector, and in the next video I'm going to explain everything in depth, why I am using normalize over here. And that's it for today's video, and until then, keep learning, keep growing.